Okay, I'm going to make a short video. I think I just got the hang of wiring up doors and hatches to sensors. Basically talking to a few people. It's pretty basic and self-explanatory. The main thing you have to remember is after you get all your activators and relays hooked up, whatever you're powering has got to be the very last connection. So in this case, you'll see we have a generator bank, and we got two engines, small engines inside the generator bank, putting out about 78 watts of power out of 100 total. Got a pretty full tank of gas, and I am, besides the doors here, I am powering a couple traps. I'll take a quick tour real quick. I have this powered, a submachine gun turret. Got a couple spinning blade traps being powered. And I have a vertically oriented spinning blade trap. Be careful of that thing. And we're going to get back up top. And we're going to wire up our powered vault door to the camera system so it opens automatically. So, left clicking, you take your wire tool, your wire crimper in your hand, and left clicking is to cancel a connection or to break off a connection, and you right click to make a connection. So we're going to right click on the generator bank, and you can see you get the little blue spark, tells you that you've created the initial connection, and we got this little thing of wire here. And you can see if we go too far back, it's going to turn red, indicating we can't go any further than that. So this is as long as that we're going to have a connection here. We're going to have power through this wire, unless we hook it up to a relay. So we're going to attach it to this relay here, and we right click. And there we go. And then you can see the power traveling through the line, and it only does that when you have the wire tool in hand. Once you switch items, it just goes away. Then from here, we're going to power our first camera right here. So we right click. You see the blue spark and the new wire. And we're going to right click again. And we have power up to that one. So that's our second connection. Now, we can wire through walls here, and we're going to do that. I actually had the camera on this side over here. But when you connect it to the door, the wire hangs down. I thought it looked a little tacky, so hopefully it's going to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing if we keep the cameras on the, was this the hinged side of the door? Yeah, I believe so. Okay, so we're going to make our third connection. There we go, we got our wire. And we're going to get through. Now, obviously, if you're going to wire through a wall, you know, you might have to actually break part of it down to make the connection and then rebuild the wall, I think. But you can see now, even though you don't see the wire, now that you see that the camera is active because it's following us. And as we get ready to make our last connection, we right-click on the opposite side camera, connection here, and we connect it to the door. And that looks pretty good. Look at that. So here we have a powered door connection, and it actually looks very well done here. Now, of course, if we were doing it, we could, for cosmetic reasons, we could simply move the relays, and you might want to think about, for aesthetic purposes, you might want to set up how you want to set up your wiring. But it does travel through walls, so that's something to consider. So we could, like if the wall was extended out, we could put the relay further back, and then have it go connect through the wall to the camera. So that's one possibility. Now, once you get to this point, so now the door is activated here. I think there we go. Yeah. But we want to be able to set our camera parameters. So we have a power delay. If you look at this, oh, and this menu up top lets you decide who is going to activate the camera and the door. Is it target self, target allies, target strangers? Do we want strangers to come in? And target zombies. So obviously we're not. But you might want to possibly have a door that zombies are allowed to go through, perhaps. So it's just, but these give you different options of setting who you want the camera to respond to. Then you have a power delay, and this self-explanatory, sets from when you activate the camera how many seconds until it will send the signal to the door to open. And then, of course, and you can set it to instant, and you get a number of seconds here or there. So I'm going to do like 2 or 3 seconds. A lot of it would depend on how far out do you want it activated. Like if you want the camera to activate further out, then you might set a delay. You know, like if you're running towards a door and you want it to stay closed till you're nearby. Then, of course, you have your power duration. Once the door opens, how long do you want it to stay open for? And you can set this down, triggered, not quite sure. Or you can set it by seconds. Maybe it's while you're active and in the camera it stays open, and then once you leave the camera's field of view it might power down. Or you can set the power manually. 5 seconds seems reasonable, so I usually just go with 5 seconds for now. And then here's your reset button if you want to reset this all. And then here's your camera preview, and if you want to set where you want the sensor to be activated, you go into this mode here, and then you can see through your camera and set if you want your let's say you're coming down the hall, and you could set up 2 cameras too. Let's say you're in a hallway that goes both directions. You could have one camera facing down this hall and another camera facing down that hall, assuming there was a hallway there. Maybe a third one over here. So however you want to set it up. But for this purpose, we're going to keep it focused closer to the door, so that as we get close to the door, it'll activate. And once you have that set, I think you just E. There we go. And then that lets you know exactly where the target area is for the sensor. And then you just press E to escape there. So that's it. And then we watch a couple seconds. We run through the door. And after about 5 seconds, it closes. Oh, and then this one activates here. Oh, power delay. Yeah, let's do a 3-second delay. And then 5 seconds. I forgot to reset this camera. And then here we're going in. You can see all around. And I normally like the I have it pointed at the pressure plate, so that way we can power this door either with the cameras or with the pressure plate. So, and then we'll watch the door close after 5 seconds. Okay, we're in this room, hypothetical room. We're doing our thing, and then as soon as we get here, it powers up, go through the door, and the door closes. So that's pretty much how the electricity works in that setup. And now that's with the generator. You may not run that inside, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the same connection with the battery bank here. And then we have 2 solar banks, and I might experiment with using the solar power to charge the battery bank. And so that might be a good way to have continuous electrical power without burning up any fuel. So that's kind of where I'm at with the electricity usage.